There was nothing frivolous about what we did.
The internet is still spiraling with the bloodbath of backlash after Katy Perry's Blue Origin space flight, but now even astronauts are weighing in and everyone wants to know, what do they actually do up there in space? With zero gravity and millions of dollars at stake, it's clear that this mission wasn't just about progress and more so about performance. So in this video, we're gonna take you through all the ongoing questions, get you some answers, and we're gonna dissect why this ongoing celebrity space flight is still making headlines. Before we dive in, hey everyone, welcome back to Ashley BTV. I'm a former TV news reporter and Hollywood actress. Hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell as I continue to take you behind the headlines. In case you missed it, we recently covered Katy Perry's very unexpected spaceflight with Blue Origin alongside CBS's Gayle King and a group of high-profile women. Katy boarded a suborbital space capsule as part of what was billed as an inspirational female-led mission to space. Some called it empowering, many found it annoying, and that backlash has now certainly become a bloodbath. Now, even astronauts are starting to weigh in. So today, I want to ask the uncomfortable questions that the mainstream media isn't, and that is, what did they actually do in space? Why these women? How much did it really cost? And is space becoming the new influencer playground? Let's break it down. So to catch you up, on April 14th, Blue Origin launched its latest New Shepard rocket, carrying an all-female crew, including Katy Perry, Gayle King, Lauren Sanchez, she's a journalist, pilot, and the fiance of Jeff Bezos, Aisha Bowe, a former NASA rocket scientist, Amanda Nguyen, civil rights activist and Nobel Prize nominee, and Carrie Ann Flynn, a film producer. The goal, they said, was to highlight women in science, leadership, and the arts through a 4-minute zero-gravity experience. But what did they do during these precious minutes? Everyone wants to know. Well, Katy Perry released a paper butterfly featuring her upcoming tour set list, floated around in a custom-designed sparkly jumpsuit, which, by the way, no shade on that. I love their jumpsuits, and if you're gonna go to space, why not be glam about it? She sang a few lines of "What a Wonderful World" to camera, and many are saying that she's actually spent more time looking at the camera lens than she did outside to planet Earth. So 4 minutes in space and still glued to the lens is what many say. So let's talk numbers. According to multiple sources, each seat on this mission is rumored to cost upwards of $28 million. That's $160 million total for an 11-minute ride that most people could obviously never afford in their lifetime. Meanwhile, the internet is blowing up, saying that student debt is crushing Gen Z, the housing crisis is real, grocery prices have never been higher, and women in STEM are still underfunded and underrepresented. So is this inspirational or is this indulgence? Now let's talk fallout, because the space launch sparked immediate backlash across TikTok, Reddit, X, and it's even sparked a lot of controversies among celebrities who typically tend to stay out of the headlines when it comes to hating on other celebrities because, you know, it's a small world, Hollywood is. But nope, it didn't keep any celebrities away from this one. We have Emily Ratajkowski called it a, quote, glorified Instagram ad funded by companies ruining the planet.
But the truth is that having a man who has gained his power and become a part of the 1% purely through exploitation and greed, deciding to take his fiance and a few other famous women to space for space tourism is not progress. Instead, just speaks to the fact that we are absolutely living in an oligarchy where there is a very small group of people who are interested in going to space for the sake of getting a new lease on life, while the rest of the population, most people on planet Earth, are worried about paying rent or, you know, having dinner for their kids. I saw a creator on here who said that privilege is not an accomplishment. Even further, and say that exploitation is certainly not an accomplishment, and then being able to take the privilege that you have gained from exploitation and greed of the planet, of resources, of human beings, and then doing something like going to space for 11 minutes is certainly not an accomplishment. That's why this all is giving like Hunger Games, right? When I'm making another video is because I think we're in a place in the world where we need to be able to discern what real progress looks like. And what happened yesterday was nothing like that.
Olivia Munn posted a subtle dig calling it astronaut cosplay. Amy Schumer honestly posted a really funny video. Check this out.
Guys, last second, they added me to space and I'm going to space. I'm bringing this thing. It has no meaning to me, but it was in my bag and I was like on the subway and I got the text and they were like, do you want to go to space? So I'm going to space, and thank you to everyone who got me here, and I'll see you guys in space.
Olivia Wilde shared memes mocking the trip as space for clout. Even Wendy's got involved and they said, send her back. Joe Rogan recently got involved and he had this to say.
And then they come down.
Let's not minimize this.
No, I know. It's a big deal.
Let's celebrate female astronauts.
And because they were
did it.
united.
Because a lot of men astronauts, they have to go to school.
Right.
They have to learn how to be a pilot first. Then they have to join the Air Force or the Navy. And then they get appointed by NASA.
That's right.
And then they go to space.
For those of you who watched my last video, you know that this is not the first time celebrities have gone to space. So the fact that he's referencing, well, when men go to space, they actually have to train for it. Well, need I remind you that William Shatner, Michael Strahan, and many other male celebrities have also gone to space. And that's what I like to reference in my first video. So if you want to watch that next. But Miley Cyrus's brother also kind of violently got involved, creating this into a huge catastrophe around Katy Perry and Miley, which was fascinating. Watch this.
I just knew Katy Perry though and her team were lame as fuck when her career was first dying, and they were like, what can we do? What worked for Miley? She cut her hair off and it broke the internet and everybody freaked out and she bleached it blonde. We should do that with you, Katy. Katy's like, yeah, we should. Should we do it like slightly different? No, we're going to do it exactly the same.
Now, you know me, I love playing devil's advocate, and many could argue that without the celebrities, this type of mission wouldn't have gotten the attention that it did. So was that a good thing that they actually did involve celebrities, which is typically why they've had one or two celebrities on these types of missions like the ones that we've seen the men do in the past. So Blue Origin claims their rockets emit only water vapor, but experts say manufacturing liquid hydrogen fuel still leaves a huge carbon footprint. Plus, launching rockets mean heavy metal particles in the upper atmosphere, heat damage to ecosystems near launch sites, and yes, space debris concerns. France calculated the carbon emissions of Katy Perry's flight at around 15 metric tons, more than the average human's entire year of CO2 output. So while Katy's up there releasing paper butterflies, scientists are down here wondering, is this actually worth it? Like, what did this actually accomplish? So why these women? The backlash isn't just about the emissions or the money, it's about the optics. Why Katy Perry? Even Gayle King was kind of like, I have no idea why I was chosen. Were they chosen for their leadership and STEM background or their follower count? Gayle has defended the mission though, saying, quote, if I can inspire one girl to dream bigger, then it was worth it. Gayle is obviously furious at all the backlash they're receiving, and she actually spoke about this.
This is what bothers me, because I've certainly read some of the things online coming from people that I know, that I like, that I consider friends. Space is not an either or, it's a both and because you do something in space doesn't mean you're taking anything away from Earth. And what you're doing in space is trying to make things better here on Earth.
I'm someone who definitely loves looking at both sides to every story because that's just the journalist in me, but I do have to agree with everyone that's basically saying, why not bring a group of underfunded female scientists, environmentalists, or young STEM students? Why not actually elevate the voices that are doing the work, not just bring, celebrity to slap onto it? It kind of defeats the whole purpose in raising up the underrepresented. But history repeats itself. It's not the first time a female celebrity went to space. In 2007, Martha Stewart joined a real space program in Russia. She trained for weeks. There was no fanfare, no influencer energy, just a woman doing something extraordinary. Compare that to today's glossy PR rollout, launches synced to a tour announcement, sparkly suits, talk-ready edits. It begs the question, honestly, what is the future of space? Where do we even go from here? I feel like this year has just been such a weird year. Everyone's been like, what is actually going on in our lifetime? That this is what we're talking about right now. This might seem like a fun celebrity stunt, but it does set a precedent. Are we turning space travel into just a playground Coachella with zero gravity for the elite? Here's where things get even weirder. While Blue Origin claims that its suborbital flights could support microgravity research, this particular mission, according to reports, no science was done, no experiments, no testing of new equipment, no data collection, no biological or environmental samples were taken. And unlike real astronauts on the ISS who spend up to 16 hours a day conducting experiments, this crew floated, filmed, and flew back down, and that was it. This wasn't space exploration, it was space exploitation for clicks, headlines, and branding. And again, for what price? The big question is, and we'd love to hear from you in the comments, is do you think it was worth the price? Let's swing back around to Gayle King. She's been the most vocal about this criticism, even pushing back hard in the CBS segment. She said, quote, "People say, why go to space? The same people who said, why walk on the moon? If we don't reach for something greater, we stagnate."
So, I'm very disappointed and very saddened by it. And I also say this, what it's doing to inspire other women and young girls, please don't ignore that. I've had so many women and young girls reach out to me, and men too, by the way, men too, that say, wow, I never thought I could do that, but I see you doing it at this stage of my life. Who would have thunk it? Not me.
She also had a lot to say on where we're putting trash on Earth, and if in fact it belongs in space. And this enraged many.
What Blue Origin wants to do is take the waste here and figure out a way to put it in space to make our planet cleaner. I mean, Jeff Bezos has so many ideas, and the people that are working there are really devoted and dedicated to making our planet a better place. That's number one. Number two, there was nothing frivolous about what we did.
Gayle King is obviously upset, and I completely understand that you don't want the gravity to be taken away. I mentioned this in my prior video, but a big question really remains is, did we just waste a bunch of resources for celebrities to go in place with the astronauts? Should this have just been a 6-female astronaut crew that actually got to do something with this mission, got to bring back samples, got to conduct testing, got to actually make it worth their while? So Gayle sparked an even bigger debate of, are we devaluing space? Are we using it as an escape from Earth's problems like trash instead of solving them? And again, who gets to go? So what's next for Blue Origin? Jeff Bezos, who owns Blue Origin, says this is just the beginning. He wants to launch Orbital Reef, a commercial space station, by the 2030s. He wants to build space hotels for wealthy tourists. Woohoo, gotta love it. He wants to create a suborbital travel pipeline for the rich. But critics argue this is just billionaires running from the planet they helped pollute. Astrophysicist Dr. Moira Gibson said, quote, "Until we fix things here, building colonies in space feels like escapism with rocket fuel." So we're left with the strangest paradox. We're sending pop stars into space while underfunded schools can't afford science textbooks. We're watching rich people float in zero gravity while climate change weighs heavier than ever, and we're calling this progress. But for who? So let me ask your honest, friendly comments and thoughts and debates. Was this mission a step toward female empowerment in space, or just another overproduced performance with zero gravity and even less depth? Is space the next frontier for fame, or a line we should stop crossing? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and if you haven't watched part 1 on this reporting of this mission, definitely think you should check it out. I offer different perspectives. Watch that video here. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you never miss a video. I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.
Show me life, show me love.